Have you ever felt that rush in your stomach right before a huge game when you just know something big is about to happen? Well, today feels exactly like that. We've got 4 stories that could shake up the Chargers' future, and trust me, none of them are predictable. From on-field surprises to potential market-shaking moves and performances that reignite dreams, the tension is off the charts. But will this push us toward glory or lead to an unexpected twist? You're not going to believe what we've got today. So grab a seat, smash that like button, and let's dive right in. Sometimes life in the NFL feels like a Hollywood script. Trey Lance is living proof. Drafted 3rd overall in 2021 by the San Francisco 49ers, he entered the league carrying massive expectations. But what followed was a rough stretch of injuries, limited game time, and the meteoric rise of Brock Purdy stealing the spotlight in San Francisco. Then came a move to DAL loose, and another quiet chapter. It looked like the story was running out of pages until Los Angeles stepped in, and that's where everything flipped. Joining the Chargers meant walking into a system with structure, patience, and most importantly, a head coach like Jim Harbaugh. Let's be real, Harbaugh has a knack for molding quarterbacks like few others, and when the ball kicked off in the preseason opener, Lance showed he was ready to turn the page. 9 completions on 12 attempts, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns, all in just one half. That was enough to reignite interest across the league. But here's the twist. Even with strong play, he's sitting behind Justin Herbert. And Herbert, one of the NFL's best, is locked in with a massive contract. Translation: Lance's path to starting in LA is basically blocked. But instead of being a problem, that could be his perfect springboard. In a league starving for young, athletic QBs with first-round pedigrees, Lance just became a rare gem. Think about it. The New Orleans Saints, still figuring out their QB room, could see him as both insurance and upside. The New York Jets, who invested in Justin Fields, might want a backup with a similar skill set to keep the scheme intact in case of injury. The Baltimore Ravens could see him as a Lamar Jackson-style backup who maintains the threat on the ground. The Arizona Cardinals, dealing with Kyler Murray's ups and downs, might want him as a solid plan B. Even the Cleveland Browns, still searching for answers under center, could be tempted. For the Chargers, this is gold. They can hold on to him for a few more preseason games, let his value skyrocket, then make a deal for draft picks or pieces to fill other needs. That's how you strengthen a roster without jeopardizing the present. And make no mistake, Lance's preseason wasn't just about pretty stats. It proved that under the right coaching, he can deliver. The market saw it. Insiders talked about it. Fans are split between keep him and trade him for value. Either way, this decision could shape the Chargers' future in ways nobody saw coming. And while we're all losing our minds over that, there's another name in this roster who might be ready to explode. And no, it's not who you're thinking. You know that moment when you realize your team's GM just absolutely nailed the draft. Joe Hilches is becoming that guy for the Chargers. And it's not just because of the flashy first-round picks. The real magic is happening deep in the later rounds, where most teams take low-risk shots. Ortiz is walking away with pure gold. The 2024 preseason had already given us glimpses of something special, but in 2025 it's becoming clear. This man knows how to find value. Take Keaetrak Lambert Smith and ARJ Mickens, both day 3 picks, both standing out in camp and preseason. But believe it or not, neither of them holds the title for biggest steal. That belongs to JuJu Caldwell. When the Chargers used the 86th pick on a nose tackle, plenty of people raised eyebrows. Caldwell wasn't a draft darling, and taking him in the 3rd round looked like a reach to some. But after just 2 preseason games, that narrative's been flipped upside down. Against the New Orleans Saints, Caldwell wasn't just present, he was a force. A relentless motor, a physical presence that echoes the great DTs who reshape a defense. There was one play that already has people in the locker room talking. Caldwell, with his size and power, chased down QB Tyler Shuck like a predator after its prey. Never quit, never slowed, until he brought him down for a sack. Pro Football Focus gave him an 85.6 grade for that performance. And while grades don't tell the whole story, in this case, they lined up perfectly with the eye test. Caldwell's impact goes way beyond stats. He's the kind of player who, by controlling the line of scrimmage, forces the opponent to change their game. Against the run, he's a brick wall. Against the pass, he has enough burst to collapse the pocket and force bad throws. In short, he gives the defense tactical flexibility. Strategically, if Caldwell locks in this form, the Chargers just found a defensive pillar in the 3rd round, meaning they can focus premium draft capital on other needs without worrying about the middle of the D-line for years. That changes the entire playoff equation, where stopping the run and pressuring the QB is everything. Fans are already falling in love. Analysts who called Caldwell a reach are now calling him a steal and a gem. And the best part? He hasn't even played a regular season snap yet. And that's not even the most surprising part of the day. because there's a reunion in LA that could completely change the way this team runs the football. Some connections in football just seem to survive time and distance, and when they reunite, something special happens. That's exactly the case with Jim Harbaugh and Hassan Haskins. And if you know the backstory, you know how big this is. Back in 2021, on a frigid, snowy field, Haskins etched his name into Michigan history. Against bitter rival Ohio State, he ignored the weather, the pressure, and the talent stacked against him. 5 touchdowns in that game. A performance that didn't just snap a painful losing streak, but set Michigan on a path that would lead to a national title 2 years later. For Harbaugh, it wasn't just a win. It was proof that his brand of football could beat anyone. Now, in Los Angeles, the partnership is back. Haskins has never been the guy with the spotlight on him. He wasn't a 5-star recruit, wasn't hyped as the next big thing in the draft, but he's always had 2 things Harbaugh values above raw athletic talent: dedication and reliability. As Harbaugh said recently, whenever you need a big run, Hassan's right there wanting to give it to you. I love the way he plays and runs the ball. That's the kind of statement that tells you a lot about what the Chargers' offense will look like in 2025. Harbaugh believes in controlling the clock, winning the trenches, and wearing down opponents, and Haskins, with his tough, no-nonsense running style, fits that philosophy perfectly. This could be huge. In short yardage situations, where every yard feels like gold, Haskins can keep drives alive. In bad weather games, where throwing deep is risky, he can shoulder the load without complaint. And his history with Harbaugh means adjustments can be made on the fly without even needing words. A rare advantage in the NFL. Here's the twist. With NHG Harris sidelined and rookies Omarion Hampton and Raheem Sanders making noise, Haskins could take on a bigger role than anyone expected. And if he delivers anything close to what he did against Ohio State, the AFC better be ready. Fans are already picturing those playoff moments. Clock running down, slim lead, and Haskins called on to seal the win. And honestly, that would be the perfect way to bring that snowy 2021 magic to the bright lights of the NFL. And if you think that story's good, wait until you hear what's happening in the Chargers' backfield with a rookie no one expected to shine this soon. The summer in Los Angeles was already buzzing, but nobody expected the Chargers' backfield to turn into an experiment in new possibilities this quickly. It started with a strange and concerning update. Najee Harris, the man expected to lead the run game, suffered an eye injury in a bizarre fireworks incident back in July. Since then, total silence on when he might return. And in that void, new stars have emerged. With Harris out, first-round rookie Omarion Hampton stepped into the role like he'd been waiting for this moment his whole life. Powerful, explosive, and with surprising field vision for someone yet to play a regular season NFL snap, he quickly cemented himself as the guy in the run game. But as if that wasn't enough, another name started stealing some of the spotlight. Raheem Sanders, undrafted, missed time in camp with an injury, initially seen as just another camp body. But in the recent preseason game against the New Orleans Saints, Sanders showed exactly why football is so unpredictable. 42 rushing yards, a touchdown in the 4th quarter, and more importantly, the feeling that he belonged on that stage. Harbaugh didn't hold back, ran hard, secured the ball, had some good tough runs. He's been working through some stuff, and got out there today and showed what he can do. Here's what's so intriguing. Sanders doesn't look like he's just fighting for a roster spot. He's quietly building a case to be the other half of a dangerous 1-2 punch with Hampton. And for Harbaugh's style, that's a dream scenario. 2 young, fresh backs with complementary skill sets, ready to pound defenses for 4 quarters. Sure, Haskins, Kimani Vidal, and Jarrett Pitt, their son, are still in the mix, but the Hampton-Sanders chemistry is forming fast. That opens the door for a versatile rushing attack that can shift from power runs to outside bursts, keeping defenses guessing. Strategically, it forces opponents to prep for 2 different threats in the same game, an adjustment that can cost dearly, especially in big moments. And here's the kicker. If Harris takes longer to come back, or isn't 100%, this duo might not just hold the fort. They could redefine the team's offensive identity. Picture the Chargers controlling the clock, wearing down defenses, opening lanes for deadly Justin Herbert play actions, all built on a run game nobody saw coming weeks ago. Fans are already coming up with nicknames, analysts are rewriting predictions, and deep down, Harbaugh has to be loving it because watching unexpected players become key pieces is exactly the kind of storyline he lives for. And if this preseason taught us anything, it's that in Harbaugh's Chargers, every opportunity is a chance to change the game. One thing's clear after today, the Chargers are writing a story packed with twists, depth, and potential. From Trey Lance reigniting his value, to JuJu Caldwell dominating in the trenches, to the return of the Harbaugh-Haskins chemistry and the unexpected rise of Hampton and Sanders, this is shaping up to be a deeper, more unpredictable team than we've seen in years. The regular season hasn't even started, and we've already got more than enough reason to believe something special is in the air. So tell me, which of these stories will define our season? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe to ride this journey with us.